All right. Well, good morning, everybody. It is the top of the hour, whichever time zone that you're in. So we're going to get started. Um, Welcome. First of all, welcome. We're glad that you're here. We hope that you find this educational and maybe a little bit fun too, because Miranda and I are both pretty fun people in our own special ways. But I'm going to introduce myself real quick before we go into the formal introductions. My name is Chris Estrella. I'm the government content insider for Town Web, and want to welcome you guys. We're going to talk today a lot about unpacking how to get a .gov domain and some best practices for digital security. I've got one of our project managers, Miranda Roberts, with us. She's awesome, super knowledgeable. We're going to get right into kind of our formal introductions. Before we do that, I just want to remind everybody this is being recorded. So if you want to share this with others, if you have to duck out for whatever reason, you've got something that's going on, you have a resident that's coming in, absolutely not a problem. We'll record this from start to finish, and you'll get a copy of it at the end. Or if you want to share it with others, again, also no problem. Number two, happy Valentine's Day, wherever you are. If you were here earlier, you might have heard I'm not a huge fan of Valentine's Day, but my wife is. So I have to be a huge fan of Valentine's Day, and that's okay. But I hope you have red on. I've got my Badger shirt on, so I'm ready to go. Miranda's got her red on, so we're ready to go. Couple other things. If you have any questions, in the lower right portion of the screen, we've got the questions tab, or you can put them right in the chat tab. We've got both of those set up. I see a bunch of people are saying good morning and hello and all that. This is great. We're going to moderate that while it's going on, but feel free to ask a question if you have it, and we'll take a look at it. So without any further ado, we're going to get started. So first, welcome. If you could just drop in the chat where you're from, and just because today is Valentine's Day, what your plans are for Valentine's Day, whatever they are, just so we can hear what everybody's doing. For the last time, I promise this last time I'll say it, but I shared with everybody, my wife and my tradition is to go out for pizza. So I'm very much looking forward to going out for pizza, and it's like really good pizza too. So Miranda, do you and your husband have a tradition that you do for Valentine's Day, or is it go to the store and buy me flowers?
Pretty much, yeah. We're pretty low key. We don't have a whole lot of anything going on.
That's awesome. Still, that's awesome. You don't want him in the doghouse for not getting you flowers. So
that's right.
So awesome. Well, a little bit of before we get into our formal introductions, some thoughts on what we're going to talk about today, and what kind of why we're here. So what we've been experiencing, what you guys may have been experiencing, is that so many of you are being told or instructed to do more with less. Your to-do list keeps growing. You really don't have the opportunity. And again, I'm going to talk about this a little bit more in just a few seconds, but I used to be a clerk in Wisconsin, and so I know property taxes are not keeping up with inflation, with the cost of living, anything like that. So you're continually having to do more with less resources, and not even just financial resources, but people and tools and everything like that. So, but even more so, especially more like within the past 5 years, maybe in the last 10 years, like data security has become a really big thing. As technology gets more advanced, we have to examine how we can keep it safe, but while at the same time increasing the technology that you have. And so it really comes down to, there's a lot of stuff here, and so where do you start? And that's what today's webinar is about today. We're going to talk about all this stuff. I'm glad that Miranda is here because she's the expert. I'm not even the pretty face. I'm just a face, and she's got a ton of good stuff to say. So I'm really excited to listen. So let's just get in with our formal introductions. I already said my name is Chris Estrella. I live in Las Vegas, Nevada. I love it. You might have heard, we just hosted the Super Bowl. It was fantastic. I didn't go to it, of course, because I didn't have $8,000 laying around for a ticket, but that's okay. I was a municipal clerk treasurer in Wisconsin for almost 17 years. There's a couple of folks on this call that I know personally from the profession, so it's nice to see you guys. I also am currently I'm an adjunct professor of public administration, say that 3 times fast, for Rochester University in Detroit, Michigan. Side note, this is midterm week for me, so I have a ton of grading to do, which all my students turned in last week. So good week to make some money. I'm a former Town Web customer across 3 different municipalities, and all of those municipalities are still customers. That's something that we're really proud of. And I really became familiar with our websites as a user and with feedback from residents, and taking all that back and making them great. So I've always thought our websites were awesome and the company was great, and now I'm here to work for them. I'm also a past president of the Wisconsin Municipal Clerks Association, one of the best years of my life. Even though I live in Nevada, I'm still a huge Packers fan. I am an owner. I'm a big New York Yankees fan because I'm originally from the East Coast. And of course, In-N-Out Burger is the greatest cheeseburger on the planet. And I can get it whenever I want now because I live here. And I am still, at heart, a cheesehead. So if you guys have any cheese that you want to send out here, I'd be happy to share my address with you because our cheese drawer is getting a little bit low. So, but enough about me. So a little kind of amateur drum roll. I would like to have Miranda introduce herself and talk about how awesome she is.
So I am Miranda Roberts. I am one of the project managers here at TownWeb. So basically what that means is when you sign on as a customer, as most of you already are, I'm the one who works with you at the beginning to kind of build out your website. So probably worked with about half of you here. Michelle, I just got assigned your municipal website as a project. So I'll be chatting with you in the next coming weeks. Some fun facts about me. I am an avid traveler. I love to see the world. I'm actually jetting off to Paris on Tuesday. So
yes,
I love to travel. I love dogs. I am team coffee in terms of morning beverages. I got to have a cup of coffee. And I am also a cheesehead. I am located right here in Green Bay, Wisconsin, right in the heart of it.
Awesome. That is awesome. I have to say, I love getting to interact with Miranda and our other project manager, Jerica, because they are in Wisconsin and I miss it. I don't miss the weather, but I miss Midwesterners. There's not a lot of cheeseheads here in Nevada. So it's really great just to like see people's faces and hear the accent and all that stuff. And it's like, oh, it's home. It's Valentine's Day. It's home. So I love it. So before I turn it over to Miranda to do her thing, just a little bit about TownWeb. And again, most of you know this because you're already customers of ours, but just to kind of recap what we're all about. TownWeb is 17 years old and getting older. We've been in this business for a while. I actually started as a TownWeb customer with the town of Blooming Grove in 2007. I actually had to look it up in our internal system because I forgot. But we weren't one of the first customers, but we were one of the early customers. So I've been very familiar with the company for a long time. We're Wisconsin born and bred. We have over 750 customers in 41 states. And then just kind of a fun fact about all of our staff. Many of us, if not all of us, love the show Parks and Rec. And this is like totally random. Like we just all love it. So if you've never seen it, especially since all of you work in municipal government, check it out because it is hilarious. It's just one of those shows that I can watch over and over again. And I'm always finding something new to laugh at. So with that in mind, I'm going to turn it over to Miranda. Just real quick, we have helped over 100 clients transfer their domains to .gov domains. And Miranda really, she's an expert in this area. Like she just is. And I know I'm talking her up and I'm supposed to. But this is just a sample of 4 that we've helped do this. She's going to talk about how and why and all that stuff. But this is something that we really have perfected over time and that we're really comfortable with doing. So this is a route that you want to go. Absolutely. Let's do it. So Miranda, I don't know if do you have control of the presentation? Can you change the slides or do you need me to do it?
I think I can. Yes.
Okay. I'll turn it over to Miranda.
Perfect. All right. So just to make sure that we're all on the same page, let's just do a little background knowledge. So we'll learn some tech jargon. First of all, what is a domain? And then what is an email domain? Because of course, this is all about getting a .gov domain and getting .gov email addresses. So a domain is the thing that you type in to go to your website. It's kind of where your website lives. So town of whatever.gov. It's that domain that you type in when you go to the website. And a domain has, a few parts. A slash will go to a certain page. And then the email domain is the at townofwhatever.gov. So that domain works for both the website and for the email, but you do need to have that one domain to get started with any of this. So there are different types of domains that are available. A .org or a .com domain are pretty easy to acquire. They can be obtained by anybody. They're like $10 to buy one. .edu is only reserved for educational institutions, so only schools, colleges, things like that. And what we're talking about today, .gov domains, those are strictly for government entities or services. So if you are not a verified government entity or organization, you cannot obtain a .gov domain. There are two different types of .gov domains, so you can get them on the federal level. That would be like exampletown.gov, or you can get them at the state level. A lot of states do issue their own .gov, so that would be exampletown.wi.gov or .ut.gov for Utah. And basically the only difference between the two is who manages it. So at the federal level, it's managed on the federal level. On the state level, it's managed on the state level. What we're going to talk about today is the federal level, because every state kind of has different requirements for getting a domain on the state level, and managing them is just a little bit trickier for us over at TownWeb, just because we can't have access to all the technical things that we need to. At the federal level, we have access to everything. So we're going to talk about the federal level today, but if you do get a domain at the state level, it will still work. And I know a lot of elections commissions and things like that are requiring this. The state level domain will work for that too. So they recognize both. We're just going to talk about the federal level today. So what are the reasons to transition? One is safety. So of course, your email is vital for communicating with residents, with businesses, with the community, and especially with elections commissions. And a .gov domain is going to come with more security than Hotmail, Gmail, or AOL. If you're still using an AOL, you maybe need to switch. That hasn't been around for a while. So if you're using an AOL for official government business, it's not going to look very professional. You're not going to look very credible. So switching to a .gov gives you that credibility, and it really identifies you as a local government entity. It also will improve public perception. So it demonstrates that you're committed to being professional. You're committed to transparency, especially with elections and things like that. It is important to display that professionalism as a local government. And the best benefit is it's free. So they used to charge a lot of money, like $400 a year for it. But in 2020, they decided that they would open it up to be free. Just during the whole COVID thing, they decided to do it. And they've decided to keep it that way because it does help municipalities to be a lot more transparent with residents. With all the election stuff going on in the country, it really does help with transparency. So it is free to get a .gov domain. So how do you do it? How do you get a .gov domain? Your first step is going to be going to the website get.gov. That's where you'll start your process. And you will need to, when you begin the process, your very first step that you need to take is verifying your identity with login.gov. Maybe you have a login.gov account. I had one previously from getting a global entry certification or whatever it's called to be able to travel internationally. But to get the login.gov, you do need a state issued ID, a social security number, and a phone number. So you need to be aware that you do need all of those things. And this is just to verify that you are a real person. And this is a government website. So you don't need to be afraid of giving out your personal information. It is the government. They have it already. They just want to verify that you are who you are. Next, you are going to request your domain, and that domain needs to meet a few requirements. So first of all, the domain has to be available. It can't already be in use somewhere else. It needs to be related to your organization's name, location, or services. It needs to be clear to the general public what this website is. You can't just kind of make up a city name for your city. It has to be related to your city or your municipality. And cities, towns, and villages 90% of the time are going to need to include the state name or abbreviation afterwards, unless they have like 150 main municipalities that don't need to do that, like Boston, boston.gov. Everyone knows where Boston is, so they don't need to say the state, but 99% of the time you will need to put like city of Eudora.ks, or you could put Kansas or something like that. If you are a smaller municipality and there are several other municipalities in the state that have the same name, I know here in Wisconsin we've got like 3 Town of Scots. You might need to include the county name, and that's just to help residents as well as the government who's checking out to make sure that you are legit. It's just to help everybody really know which website they're at, which municipality they're communicating with. So once you have your domain picked out, you will need to get approval from an authorizing official in your organization. So this is just basically somebody who's in a role of significant responsibility. A lot of times it'll be the highest elected official in your municipality. So the mayor, a council president, something like that. You'll just need to make sure you get all of their contact information. Again, they may reach out to them just to verify that, again, this is a legitimate request. And then you'll need to complete a request form. So you'll need all of that information we talked about before. You'll need your organization's name, mailing address, the information for the authorizing official, the purpose of requesting the domain, your contact information, your technical contact information. So if you're a TownWeb customer, TownWeb will be the technical contact for the domain. It'll have a few other things. It's mostly information that you'll already know, though. So it's nothing too crazy that you'll have to go digging for. It's a pretty simple process now. And then we play the waiting game. So federal government moves a little slow sometimes. So we've seen it take up to 4 to 6 weeks, sometimes quicker, sometimes longer, just depending on how many they have in queue. But it's usually not too painful of a process. So once you get the domain, that's great. You can redirect your website to that domain. If you're a TownWeb customer, we'll do that for free for you. But then you'll also need to get a .gov email. So your first step is going to be to choose an email provider, figure out who you want to host the email. TownWeb does provide emails to our customers through Google Workspace. Of course, that does come with a fee, so you can reach out to our team and we can get you costs on that. And then you'll enter the DNS records for your desired email service. So if TownWeb is not your provider, if you send us DNS records and we are your technical contact on the domain, we will do that for you. So that can get kind of technical. If you're already a customer of ours, we're happy to manage that for you. And if you do go with us for emails, of course, we'll enter all of that in it for you as well. So you don't even have to worry about it. Now, some things to keep in mind, of course, having a .gov email is great. It promotes that transparency within your community, but you still need to make sure that your account is secure, because if you have a weak password, it's still going to be able to get hacked. So you want to make sure that you do have a strong password, have a long password with a combination of uppercase and lowercase letters, numbers, and special characters. Yes, it can be annoying to type in every time, but it's well worth it. You'd much rather type in a long password than get hacked and have an email blast you don't want going out to everybody. Also, multi-factor authentication. So that's the thing where you log into your email address and then it'll like text a code to your phone or something that you have to enter in as well. Again, annoying, but it's really, really important to secure that email. So even if somebody does get your password, if they don't have your phone, they still can't get into the account. And we do recommend changing your password regularly, just because data leaks do happen. It is a thing that happens, unfortunately. So making sure that you're changing your password maybe every 6 months, every year, even just making sure that you're keeping that password fresh. Some recommendations that we have with your password. There are password managers out there, such as 1Password or LastPass. There are services that are online that kind of help you to secure your password. So even if you do have a big long one, it can be stored there. It's going to be a little bit easier than having it on a Post-it note, because then you've got 20 Post-it notes for 20 different accounts and you don't know which is which, and you forgot to lowercase one of the letters, and we've all been there.
I have to share. I got to jump in really quick. I have to share a really funny story.
Yeah.
So at one of my municipalities that I worked at, which I will not name, one of my coworkers, which I will not name, nobody on this call, but one of my coworkers actually used to have a full 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper printed from Excel with all of the passwords.
Did Chris freeze or am I frozen?
It looks like he froze.
He froze. Okay.
Yes.
I'm never sure when when someone freezes. I'm like, is it me or is it them?
There is a poll up for everybody. So just to kind of see what your level of post-it notes are. I know I have a couple on my desk, so you're not the only one if you do have. Yeah.
It does happen. It does happen.
It does happen. Well, absolutely.
I guess Chris is taking a rest, so we can let him finish his story afterwards.
mid talk, yes.
Mid gesture. Yep. Oh, he's gone. Okay. Well, he'll pop back in.
He'll be back.
So anyway, use a password manager instead of having a giant Excel spreadsheet or Post-it notes all over the place, and create a conscious culture within your organization. So, maybe you're doing everything right, but the treasurer isn't. Make sure she is too. Make sure everybody's on the same page and is conscious of website security and email security, and do some monitoring, do some checks, make sure that people are following these guidelines. So you do need to protect sensitive information and data. Everything is online now. Data is currency. So you want to make sure that that data, that information doesn't get leaked or doesn't get out there. So again, emphasizing the importance of keeping things locked down with a secure password. Another way to do this is using encryption on websites. So .gov does require that all .gov websites use HTTPS, which just means that it's encrypted. So any information that gets typed on that website it's impossible for some hacker to read what you're typing. It's encrypted. So that just keeps the website really secure. If you have a town website, that comes automatically. All of our websites are also secure. We regularly check them. We have security measures. It's backed up. Having backups and archiving for both your websites and emails are really important. It's kind of like having the extra key under the doormat. So if something does get hacked, if something catastrophic happens to a server or there's a natural disaster or something crazy happens, we have kind of a backup file. So all of that information is still available, and having that archiving for emails is also really important for FOIA requests. So if somebody has a request, a Freedom of Information Act request, you'll be able to access that information regardless. And again, update your passwords regularly. That's just like making sure your windows aren't open when you leave the house. Just making sure to keep up on that is really important. What not to do. So don't use a weak password. If your password is password 123, I promise you will get hacked. It's going to happen. Don't share your passwords or login information with anybody, even someone you think you trust. You never know. So don't share that information. If you get phishing or spam emails, do not open them. I know it can sometimes be hard to tell, but if you can tell that something's a little off, it's best just to delete it. Don't open it. Especially do not open any attachments from somebody you do not know. That can download a virus on your computer, which could hack into everything. You're just going to report it, block it, delete it, get rid of it. Ignore security updates. So if you're getting like updates on your computer that say you need to do XYZ, sometimes it's spam. So make sure that you're not clicking on anything that you don't know, that you don't trust. And do not use personal devices for your work. So again, that could open up a public record implication. You want to make sure that you are using approved devices. Chris, are you back with us?
I'm back. I'm not frozen anymore. Sorry about that.
Great.
Technology is great when it works.
It is.
Good gracious.
Exactly.
My goodness.
Exactly. All right. So your next steps, what should you guys all do next? So if you are interested in transitioning to a .gov website, if you're a Town Web customer, it's free to get your website on a .gov. Just go ahead, let us know. Let us know where you're at with the process of obtaining that domain. We're super happy to help you out with that. Make sure you update your passwords. This is maybe a good reminder. If you haven't done that in a while, go ahead after this call, update your passwords. If you don't have archiving on your emails, might be a good thing to add. Again, just for those FOIA requests, it can be really helpful to have. And maybe have a quarterly security update or chat with your colleagues. Make sure that everybody is also updating their passwords and everybody is on the same page. So what is successful? How are you successful in doing this? So being consistent, being secure will become second nature. If you're consistent with it, it'll be easier to do. Read reputable information. So whenever you are reading information online, especially about security, make sure it's from a reputable source. Anybody can post anything on the internet. So you really need to make sure that you're only taking in information from reputable sources. And if you are unsure, just ask. We get emails all the time. There's like a spam going around where this domain register sends an email or sends a physical mail or email to people saying, you need to renew your domain. It's going to be $300 or you'll lose your website. That's not real. But if you're scared, if you're unsure, you can always ask us. We're happy to check anything out for you and just kind of give you that comfort that, you can throw that away or delete that or block that email. So if you're unsure, we are here to help.
Real quick, I want to jump in, and I hope I don't freeze this time, but also we happen to have a college professor on staff who is somewhat of an expert in what a reputable website is, because I have to teach that to my students as well. So if you do have a question about whether or not something is legit or not, please let us know. We can absolutely check it out, especially if it's technology related or just regular information. Between Miranda, Jerica, myself, we've got a bunch of people that know this stuff really, really well, so we can definitely check on that for you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We're here to help you out. So you're not on your own. We're here for you. All right. That's all we have. So if you have any questions.
You guys survived. You made it. Hooray.
We did it.
Only one of us froze. That's awesome.
Yes. That's a win.
But yes, we're going to stick around. We've definitely got time for questions allotted. So if you want to ask a question, drop it in the chat here. I'll be monitoring that as well. Either in the question tab or the chat tab, doesn't matter. But if you want to reach out to get a hold of us for anything, there's our contact information, phone number, anything like that. Happy Valentine's Day. Go be with your loved ones, whether that's a person, an animal, yourself, doesn't matter. I think my wife said Happy Valentine's Day to our dog before she said it to me, so I know where I am in the pecking order. But I always knew where I was in the pecking order. So, but yeah, let's take a few minutes for questions and comments and anything like that. I see that Stephanie is still waiting to hear back from the federal government. That's not a surprise. One thing that I also found out when I was doing a little research for this, and I don't remember if you mentioned this while I was frozen or not, Miranda, but all .govs were on hold for a few months because they were putting the process online. And so there might be a backlog a little bit of people who are applying. They were encouraging people not to, just so there wasn't a huge backlog, but I have no idea what happened with that. So I see we've got a question from Cheryl. How does the transition from current email to the new .gov email work? So many government entities use our email. I don't want to forget to notify everyone. Brandon, could you answer that? I know you can way better than I can.
Yes. So what we do is we migrate all of your information. So if you have folders of emails that you want to keep, or your contact list, all of that, we can help you migrate that from your old email provider to your new one. So we'll do a migration there. And then what we recommend doing is setting up a forward. So then you would forward any email that goes to that old email address to the new one. Maybe keep that old one active for a year, a couple of years, if there are a lot of people using it, but then make sure that everything gets forwarded and you're no longer sending emails from that old one, only from the .gov. over time, it'll catch. People will start only using the .gov, but for a little bit of time, just have everything forwarded to the new one.
That's why she's here. She's the expert. Great question, Cheryl. Thank you for asking that. Any other questions? I see we have Stephanie is typing something, so I will wait with bated breath. I'm not frozen, I promise. The suspense is killing me, though.
Yeah.
Oh, so Stephanie writes, since we use Gmail Drive for everything, how will that affect our stuff?
So that is really easy if you use Gmail Drive for everything, because we do use Google Workspace for .gov emails at TownWeb. So again, we would do a migration of what you have on your current drive to your new drive. And the process will be really seamless because it's going from Google to Google. So that's actually the easiest way to do it.
I love that. I love answers like that.
Yes.
I do. Susan, you are welcome. You are welcome. Stephanie, you are also welcome. With, what is that? Is that 6 exclamation points? I love that. Maybe 7.
That's a good thank you.
I love that. You're very welcome. Other questions? Again, we definitely have some time. I know my plan for the rest of the day. Grocery store to get flowers. Maybe I should go get cupcakes for my wife too, because she loves them. Yes. You know, the stress of, it's funny that you mentioned that, Stephanie. Like, before I left Wisconsin to move out to Nevada, when the Elections Commission, the Wisconsin Elections Commission started the move towards requiring folks to get .gov emails and websites and all that stuff. And I was very happy to hand that off to my deputy and be like, you handle it, because I'm not going to be here anymore. Good question from Stephanie. How do we charge for each email address?
Yes, so we do charge for each email address. I'm not the pricing gal, so don't ask me about the numbers, but I believe how it works is the more you have, the cheaper it is per email address.
I think that's right too. I'm not the pricing guru. If you send an email to sales@TownWeb, our pricing guru, Peter, will get that, and then he can put that together in a quote for you and how much that costs. But, here we go. Alexander just put it in here. Excellent.
Oh, Alex is great.
Thank you, Alex. That's awesome. So if you're looking for the answer of how much, there's your answer right there. Thank you for coming today, Alex. Another question from Cheryl. Once we request the email/domain and get the okay, is that when we contact you to help?
Yep. So once you go ahead and get the approval, you can contact us. You can contact us at the beginning of that process if you want a reminder, or if you have any questions. We are here to help you through the process. I mean, we can't do it for you because we're not part of your government, but you can definitely ask us for help at the beginning if you need it. But yes, once you have that domain approved, we can go ahead and get the website switched over for you, and then we can begin the process of setting up the email addresses.
Again, further proving why she's here. Like, worth her weight in chocolate today, for sure. For sure.
I like that.
I love that. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Do you know, I literally just came up with that like 10 seconds ago. Like, just popped into my
Look
head.
at that.
Just like that. Wasn't even trying.
Impressive.
Just call me Willy
Love
Wonka. All right. Michelle has to run. You are very welcome.
Thanks,
Cheryl
Michelle.
has another question. Does pricing include any Google Meet capabilities?
I believe so. I'm like 90% sure. So it should come with everything that the Google Workspace comes with. So you'll also get access to Google Drive, the whole Google Drive, Google Sheets, Google Slides, I don't know, all the stuff. You'll get a lot of tools that come with it.
All the things.
All the things. It's more than
Yes.
just an email. It's Google.
And we have confirmation from Alex. Yes, the whole suite of Google tools. So between Miranda and Alex, if they both say yes, then it's absolutely a yes.
Yes. That's right. Alex is our email expert.
Yes. Thank you for being here, Alex. This is awesome. Like, this is awesome that you're here.
Yes.
Cool. We still have time for more questions, and as long as you guys keep asking, we will absolutely keep answering. So, the grocery store will still be there for me, so I'm good. But any other questions about anything? Absolutely. Again, if you guys have to run, totally fine. We're still recording, so we can we're certainly going to share this with everybody at the end. But thank you so much for being here. This has been awesome. I think of all the webinars that we do, and especially the ones that I do, this one's my favorite because I don't have to be the expert, which is awesome. And you don't have to hear me talk a whole lot, even though I kind of do, but whatever. But I really feel like whether or not you're a customer of ours, like this is just something that's applicable to everybody regardless. Like it's just, and really, I mean, I can fall back on my clerk experience, but things really didn't start to turn towards like cybersecurity and .govs and stuff like that really until like, the 2016 election, even before, 2015 and going forward. Like I never received any type of training like this or any information like this as a clerk, like ever until like 2016, 2017. So it really has become super important to make sure that, you're safe, you're secure, you're on top of things when it comes to technology and all that stuff that's involved with it. So even if you're not a customer of ours, like we're happy to have you here, just to get that education out. And of course, the professor in me is like, I want to teach. So this is great. Well, we have one more question from Cheryl. This is great. Cheryl, I love that you're asking all these questions. One more. Are the Google Meet capabilities longer than 1 hour? They just did a trial to pay $19 per month, and you have better, longer, more people and Google Meet capabilities. So I'm not sure who can answer that.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure. I would think so. Maybe Alex has some more information. I would assume that it would be the better one, though.
That's what I was thinking too, but we'll see if Alex has anything to throw in. You're on the clock, Alex, but there's no pressure, of course. I imagine she's probably checking right now.
Yeah, asking somebody else in the office.
Exactly.
Double checking.
Yes. That's a really good question, Cheryl. We'll, oh, she's typing. So, okay, here we go. I'm excited.
I'm curious to find this out too. We're all learning today.
Yeah. The suspense is killing me. Again.
Yeah. All the typing.
It's like watching the Super Bowl go to overtime, even when your team isn't in it.
Oh, yeah. Let's talk about the Super Bowl for a minute. That was stressful.
It was, and I'm not a Chiefs or a Niners fan.
Me either, but I was like sweating.
Okay, I guess I was maybe sweating a little bit too.
Yeah, come on, we all were.
A little bit.
Yeah.
You are very welcome, Cheryl, and I see Alex is still typing, so this is going to be good. Yes, and that's one thing I remember. There were grants, and I can't remember if they came from the Elections Commission or not, but there were grants in Wisconsin that would help defray a little bit, or I can't remember how much it was, but because again, I handed it off to my deputy because I moved out to Vegas. So, and there we have the answer. Up to 100 people can join the meeting, up to 24 hours. So there you go. That's perfect. I love that. Awesome. Thank you, Alex. It is so great to have you here today. And I guarantee when we do this again, you might be front and center just like Miranda is, because this is awesome.
We're recruiting you, Alex.
Yes. It's just a matter of time.
Yeah. She's being pulled up.
Yes. So do we have any other kind of last questions? I love that, Alex. Any other final questions before we kind of wrap things up? Again, good opportunity here. We've still got a lot of folks that are on. And just again, as a reminder, this will be sent out. So if you missed something, if you had to step away, We absolutely will be sending this out to everybody. If you want to share it with somebody else, absolutely not a problem. But just kind of, we'll go last call for any questions here. And if not, have an awesome day. Happy Valentine's Day. Eat some pizza with me. Eat some pizza with your friends, with your family, with your spouse, with your pets. Maybe some chocolate.
All the love.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. I think we're going to leave it at that. I'm not seeing anybody typing or anybody asking any more questions. A couple more people have dropped off. So thank you so much, everybody. Thank you for coming. Have an awesome day, and keep an eye out for future webinars from us on this topic and other topics. So thank you for coming.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks so much, Stephanie. Have a beautiful day, everybody.
Yes. Have a great day.